Yes, welcome along to a brand new series of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, we're back.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
I'm good. How have you been?
Grant, yeah. Every day, I'm so thankful for those people that created those vaccines. Because,
legends. Each and every one of you, legends.
It's great to have things back mostly to normal. Like this time last year, we were coming into Dublin and it was a ghost town. So
complete ghost town.
Whereas now you come in and it takes an hour to get in with the traffic, but there you go.
I've never loved traffic more, Gavin.
Yeah, no, true. And even got to go on a couple of airplanes this year. So
did you?
Yeah.
You're in the sky. Where'd you go?
Myself and the girls.
Anne-Marie is herself.
Yeah, we went away to Italy for a few days, and then a couple of weeks ago got away with the boys that you know from the Dublin Journalists Golf Society. So we ended up went over to Scotland and played a bit of golf. So we played Troon, was one of them, and
continue with the accent. I like that accent.
So we had to spend the night in Kilmarnock. So we're having dinner at 8:30. So we went into this bar at 7:30, and just staying to ourselves and up at the bar, and we're only there for 10 seconds. And the next day, we're always wearing a shirt that says Cheltenham 2013 on it. And the next thing, this guy rolls over, "Hey you, were you in Cheltenham?" And Rob goes, I was. And then he looks at me and he goes, "Hey you, are you the fella that gives tips on the internet?" So
you're famous.
So the next thing anyway, we're over chatting to the boys, Alec and Gary, and actually it's Alec's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to Alec. He watched the show.
Happy birthday, Alec.
They're not even mad into racing, but they like Cheltenham so much. It's amazing how popular Cheltenham is. Like it's
is he a smart Alec, is he?
So two great guys. We spent a few hours there in the pub, so it was a good laugh.
So the gist of the story is that Gavin Lynch is famous. He's known all over the world.
No. Just great lads and good crack. How's all your gang? How's Aoife and Georgia?
Oh, great. She's getting big now, Gavin.
Who? Aoife or Georgia?
Oh, dangerous territory. Georgia, yeah. No, she's just gone 1.5. Gavin.
Great. Walking.
Yeah, she's walking around the place, flying around the place, and still sleeping terribly.
And bossing you about.
Bossing me about,
It must be near time for number 2, is it?
It is actually, yeah. Better get a move on. But before we continue, the cycle, Gavin. What a legend. Gavin Lynch, charity cycle. Unbelievable day. A few of our viewers, I'm sure, did the charity cycle, and I know you want to give a shout out to
just a few thanks. Firstly, thanks to the Racing Post for letting us. It's hard to believe that an idea we just briefly spoke about a year ago turned into such a great day. And the current total is €184,000, which is like, if I thought if we raised 40 or 50, it'd be great, you know. So to raise that,
unbelievable achievement.
Thanks to all the race courses, the 7 of them, the 2 stud farms, and also thanks to people that took part, including famous jockeys like Tygo Shea, Shane Foley, Barry Geraghty, Rachel Blackmore, and Paul Carby. 5 of the nicest people you could ever meet, so they were fantastic. Thanks to the Gardaí, and thanks to loads of people. Actually, a quick ditty about a fella called James Fenton. He's a sergeant.
I'm liking your ditties
Yeah,
today.
so anyway, quick one. But he rings me up in the summer and he goes, he says...
is he Scottish again?
No, he's not. No. He's from Cork, and he goes, "Hello, Gavin." He says, "It's James Fenton. I'm a sergeant down in Lismore Water from Cork originally." He says, "You got me." And I go, "Am I in trouble or something?" He goes, "No, you got me." He says, "I've recovered from cancer." He says, "I've horses with Willie Mullins, and I also have a mare that's in full to Harzand." So he says, "I'm going to go up and spend the day and organise the traffic and the whole lot." So fantastic fella, and it worked brilliant. 300 cyclists took part. All went really well. We'd Frances Mullen, Pat's wife, and 2 of her children, Paddy and Hannah. 2 of his brothers, Ger and Brian. A very, very emotional day. My wife Anne-Marie, who'd spent 8 days in intensive care the previous year, she did 80k, so a huge achievement for her.
What a woman.
And even people like Michael, the cameraman there, knows Dan, Niall and Bomber down in Limerick. They organised a golf classic, and his dad won it. They raised $7,000.
A bit like Father Ted winning the raffle, was it?
Yeah. And Damien Dillon, a very good friend of mine, best auctioneer in Dublin, he raised $20,000 on his own. So Dillon Marshall is his company. They've already set up an Olive Lynch fund in Cancer Trials Ireland. So really thrilled for our family, and it was a great day.
Well, I'm sure your mother would have been very proud of you, Gavin. A terrific day. And you know what? It's the perfect time to get on with the show. So as always here on Upping The Ante, we kick off with our questions from the crowd. And the first question this week comes in from Craig Button. And Craig says, "Thank God we're both back, Gavin." He says it's been a long, boring, flat season. But he wants to know, with Paul Nicholls in such terrific form at the moment, can he get back to the Cheltenham Winners Enclosure? And if he does, with what horse?
Look, the most likely one, the horse you love the most in training, Brave Man's Game, is. But I could see him definitely being in the first 3.
Are you converted yet?
No. He's a brilliant jumper, etc., as he showed at Market Racing. But he'd have a chance, I suppose. After that, you're looking at things like maybe Monmoral, Nappers Hill, Frodon, Hitman, Clondazabo won't go. There's nothing really obvious. Now, obviously, there's going to be 9 handicaps at Cheltenham, so he'd have a chance in those. But What do you think?
You don't like the horse so much that you don't even know where he ran. Newton Abbott. Wash your
Newton
mouth
Abbott.
out. So I think he's a lovely horse, right?
Okay.
I do think he's a lovely horse. I don't think he will ever beat Bob Bollinger, and I just fear if he runs against Gallop in the Champs that, in the Brown Advisory, as it's now called. So I think he just might be found out, but I do think he's a very, very good horse.
Yeah,
and
he's a good horse, yeah.
will be a Gold Cup contender in years to come, I think. Whether he'll win one, I don't know. The one that I like from the Paul Nicholls stable is a horse called Mr. Glass. I think Mr. Glass is a very, very good. He won a bumper at Weatherby last season, and I just liked the way he did it. I really liked the way he did it, and he came out and won his first start over hurdles this year. I could see him potentially develop into an Albert Bartlett type. I think in years to
slow
come,
then.
he doesn't have an instant turn of foot, but I think in years to come, I think Mr. Glass could be an exceptional chaser. But this year, wouldn't be surprised if he developed into an Albert Bartlett contender. Mr. Glass, the name of that horse, Gavin.
Okay.
There you go. Mr. Glass for me. Brave man's game, I think, for Gavin. Our next question comes in from Scott Rotherham, and Scott wants to find out about Echoes in Rain. Can she develop into a champion hurdle contender? He thinks she's going to romp home in the Morgiana at Punchestown on Sunday.
Romp home was probably an exaggeration. It'll be interesting to see does Willie run Sharjah,
You
Saldier.
hate those kind of phrases, romp home, don't you?
Well, I said one last year, but something been a good thing, and I shouldn't have said it. But anyway,
One though.
I did. But Echoes in Rain, I think she's around 10 or 12 to 1 for the champion hurdle. She's the one that has probably got the most potential. Just to tell you on ratings, at the moment, Saldier is 162, Sharjah is 164, Echoes in Rain is 143. Wow. But now you have to add £7 because she's going to get 7, so say 150, right? I could see her running a big race. Obviously on Sunday she's probably going to be favourite maybe, but the tactics last year,
She's keen.
Oh, very keen, yeah. They got it wrong in January in Punchestown. She made tried to make all under Danny, and it didn't suit her. She was much too keen. Then when they got her to settle better, she beat Belfast Banter at Naas. She won by 15 lengths against Mr. Muldoon in Fairy House, and then she won the Grade 1 in Punchestown. So she has a lot of potential. The good thing about her for a champion hurdle is that she doesn't have to give Honeysuckle £7, so because that £7 is crazy. So it'll be interesting seeing the Morgiana. I think she'll run a big race, yeah.
You're not convinced though. You just don't.
I'd like to see her against, in the Open Company, which we'll see this Sunday.
And Scott there might want to back her 12 to 1 for champion hurdle. Is she a bet at this stage?
I think if she was even second at the weekend, that'd be still a great run. So she's probably okay value at 12s, yeah. Okay,
there you go, Scott. That's our views on Echoes in Rain. Our next question comes in from Andy Napper, not Andy's first question. He's obviously a fan of the show. He wants your views, Gavin. And Andy wants to know, if we owned NYLN, which I wish we did, what route would we go down?
I think that you have to find out, does he stay 3 mile? I wonder, would you go for the John Durkin first and then I'd go to the King George or the Savills?
Has to go to the King George. Has to.
Yeah, so obviously beating Echoes of Family wouldn't be hectic for him from down right, but it showed that he was back to his best. He jumped well, he travelled well. Echoes of Family, I think, has been put up from 90 to 95 since, so that's interesting.
That was Echoes of Family's moment of fame.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good on them. It was an ambitious target by the trainer. But I just wonder, is there enough time between the John Durkin? That's on December the 5th. The Savills, I think, is on the 28th, and obviously King George the 26th. So 3 weeks roughly. So that's a decision to be made.
Has to go King George. Kempton, 3 miles, quick jump and pace.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Kempton written all over him, Gavin.
Yeah, and then of course, would they try Allaho in the King George and that same owner? But maybe they won't.
I think Allaho might go for the John Durkin, and I'd say, hopefully, fingers crossed, NYLN goes for King George. That'd be my hope. Is he still himself? We used to call him himself on the show last year.
Kinda. You just don't know if horse come back from injury.
You've given up.
No, I haven't. No, but I pray he's back to his best. That's all.
Well,
but an injury is tricky.
I've done a couple of things with Henry de Bromhead. I did a stable turn, a couple of other little things, and he is convinced that he never lost it. So he said he was in fantastic form going to Cheltenham, fell early. He said he was in brilliant form going to Punchestown, where he absolutely clattered the fence and hit it so hard that he obviously had to get the operation to have the chip removed. So I just think...
I was just very surprised that he was so keen at Cheltenham. That kind of...
He was keen at Cheltenham, obviously, yeah. But he is enthusiastic.
But it'd certainly be the first horse ever, and ever will be, that beat a 90-rated horse went on to win the King George.
Yeah, that would be so much even. But I hope, Henry, if you're watching, King George.
Try him at 3 miles anyway and see.
Yeah. King George, Henry. King George. Okay. And our final question in Questions from the Crowd comes in from Undeso on Twitter. Undeso,
very good, yeah.
He went back to college after he finished racing, and now he can type and ask questions and everything. So Undeso on Twitter. Undeso wants to know, which Ante Post favourite in the current markets are we most against at the 2022 Cheltenham Festival?
So if you'd asked me last week, I would have said Thyme Hill for the stairs, until he was beaten 40 lengths on Saturday, no tie.
So he's not favourite anymore?
No, he's second favourite at the minute, I think. Another one is Echoes and Rain for the Mare's Hurdle, because she's not going to run it. She wouldn't stay 2.5 miles, so she'll end up probably in the champion hurdle.
Leading up to a big one here.
Kilcrut for the Bartlett, I think again he's 8 or 10 to 1 favourite. He definitely, even though Tony Mullen said last year he probably would end up in a Bartlett, he won't.
Give us a quick Tony.
No.
Give us a quick one. Come on, it's the first show. Give us a quick Tony.
Oh,
Go on.
I would run him in the Bartlett, but you know what the brother was like, sure. But Willie's on about
Bit
running.
Bit to work on, yeah. It's first show of the year.
First show of the year. Willie is on about, he had said in the spring he was probably going to a Ballymore. He said more recently he's probably going to the Supreme, so he ain't going to the Bartlett anyway.
He ain't going to the Bartlett?
No.
Okay.
But
the answer is?
Just in case you were going to give out to me, I picked another one, was Easy's Land for the cross country. He's 4 to 1 favourite. He definitely needs a ploughed field for me. Last year the ground caught him out. He was beaten 18 lengths by Tiger Roll, so 18 lengths. I just wouldn't be totally in love with him unless it came up soft to heavy.
Okay.
And you?
Do you know what I'm going to say? Because I just think there's two serious challengers to him, and I think he's far too short in the market. Shishkin. I think Shishkin. I love Shishkin. You know, I have the shirt.
Yeah.
Coming back later in
I
the
wore it
series.
the other day.
Yeah. Coming back, the Shishkin shirt. I'm a massive fan of Shishkin. But he is far too short in a race that could have
At 7 to 4.
Shaq and Persois, Energamine. You're 5 months from Cheltenham. He's a very, very good horse. He's a brilliant horse. But I think what Shaq and Persois did at Punchestown was amazing. Now, amazing. And how he's 6 to 1 to win any race
I
couldn't
have
beyond
him
me.
Now.
6 to 1
I couldn't
with
have him.
6-5 for championships.
Not after what I saw last March, no.
Well, that's where we differ, okay?
Okay.
And Energamine obviously is a superstar as well. So I just think while he's probably the most likely winner, he's too short. Shishkin. I think he's too short.
Okay.
I think it could turn out to be a fantastic race, hopefully, if they
Time
all
will
get
tell.
there. So there you go. That's Undesso's question answered. So now it's time for Gavin to show off, really, basically, because this is his segment, Key Festival Stats from last season's Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, take it away.
I just think there's a few things that, get mentioned. Every year we do this in the first episode. So last year, top trainer Willie Mullins with 6, Henry with 6, Denise Foster with 3, is now the horse obviously under Gordon's care again. Between Willie, Henry, Denise Foster and Ian Ferguson, because he trained Galvin for that run, did 16 winners. Wow. So what I'm saying to you is that this year those horses, Gordon, Willie and Henry, 16, 12 was the score last year. Like that means the Willie, Gordon and Henry will be odds on to beat everybody else, including the rest of Ireland and the UK. So just to bear that in mind, that the 3 lads are a standout. Age of winners, 25 of the 28 winners at Cheltenham last year were 8 years or less.
Wow. How many?
28. 25 out of 28.
So only 3 were 9 or older.
And the 3 were in the Fox Hunters, Porlock Bay, but that's the 7th year in a row where the winner of the Fox Hunters has been 10 or more. So that race is just a total difference to everything else. And the other 2 were Tiger Roll is 11 in the cross country and Vintage Clouds, who was 11 in the Ultimate. So there was no horse aged 9 or 10 won at the Cheltenham Festival. So we have to make a promise not to tip up a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Maybe
tell us that you win nothing with kids.
Yeah, maybe a 9-year-old, but just stick to the younger horses. 18 of the 28 winners were aged 6 or 7. Now you might say, there's a lot of novice races that suits the younger horses, but if you look at the big 5 races, the biggest race of the week, the Gold Cup, Manila Indo 8, Honeysuckle was 7, Put the Kettle On was 7, Flooring Porter was 6 and Allaho was 7. They're the 5 biggest races of the week. So stick to younger horses. In terms of handicaps, stick to novices as best you can. There was 4 handicap chases this year. 3 of them were won by novices, Sky Pirate, the Shunter and Mount Ida. And Vintage Clouds obviously won. The horse that was second to it, Happy Go Lucky, was a novice. The previous year, all 5.
Not win?
Yeah, I backed that. All 5 the previous year in the handicap chase were all novices, just to tell you. And this year in the hurdles, the handicaps, Jeff Kidder obviously was a novice because that's in the Boodles. Second Stephen novice, Heaven Help Us and Mrs. Milner, they both won. And 2 novices, Belfast Banter and Gallopin Deschamps, they won the county and the Martin Pipe. So just stick to novices and handicaps, definitely, and younger horses. And every year I kind of beam me bonnet about one thing.
Go on.
Can I
get it off your chest,
Okay.
Gavin? That's what I'm here
So
for.
if you look up what the word novice is in the dictionary, it says a novice is someone who is not experienced in a job or situation. Right?
Yeah. Hope you're not getting at me here now.
No. I'm getting at novices that something has to be done. Like Sir Gerhard, who's a brilliant horse, love to own him. He's worth a lot of money. In the 19 to 20 season, he ran the point to point. Last season, he won 3 bumpers, right? Including at Cheltenham when he was 6. This year, he's going novice hurdling, and at Cheltenham, he's going to be 7. If he goes novice chasing the following year, which he probably will, he'll be in a novice chase like the RSA or the Marsh. at 8. That means he'll end up running in a Gold Cup or a Champion Chase, possibly at the age of 9. I just think that's a bit... You can't be a novice for 3/4 of your career. Would you agree?
Yeah, I've never thought about it too.
Kilcrot also, similar profile. He ran in the Champion Bumper at 6. Again, novice hurdler at 7, novice chaser at 8, open races at turning into 9. So he'd be 9 at Cheltenham. I just think it's crazy.
So what would you do?
One thing I would do, for example, if the Champion Bumper was just for 4 and 5-year-olds, they would have gone novice hurdling this time last year. I think it's just in everybody's interest to create more competition. If the Champion Bumper was for 4 and 5-year-olds, would be one little thing.
I don't know if you read the Racing Post. Craig Take said, "Get rid of bumpers. Get rid of them."
I can't believe. Yeah, I think. I'm not saying get rid of them, but I just can't believe the amount of time that is wasted on them. Yeah. Like Kilcrut ran in March the previous season, so he kind of has had 2 seasons in bumpers. Whereas you look at Gallop and Deschamps, and he's now 5, and he's already won the Grade 1 novice hurdle punchdown. So I just think if you had the Champion Bumpers 4 and 5-year-olds only, that would help.
Okay.
Because last year, for example, in the 3 novice chases, the Arkle, the Marsh, and the Brown Advisory, they were all odds-ons, and we need competition. I think it would help with competition.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Some very interesting stuff there. You finished? That was the key stats from last season's Cheltenham Festival. So it's the week that was time, or for 1 week only, the few weeks that was. So Gavin, take it away. These are the horses who have caught Gavin's eye over the last 5 weeks? 6
or 7 weeks. But okay. I'll be as quick as I can. The first one I'm going back to is Gin and Lime. I was very impressed with her in Tipperary. To me, she's much, much better going left-handed. She's 3 from 3 going left-handed. She's 4 out of 5 overall. She's 14-1 for the Mayor's Chase. She runs hopefully this weekend in Cheltenham. I think 14-1 is too big. I think she's each way value.
You like her?
Yeah, definitely would have a saver on her anyway. Brave Man's Game was next on the 10th of October in Newton Abbot.
Marks out of 10?
Yeah. Like you'd have to give him 9 out of 10.
9,
I just think that because he's beaten 12 lengths at Cheltenham and 7 lengths at Aintree, we see that he's beatable.
Would you worry a little bit that the big breakaway ran like I usually run at about 6 o'clock in the morning the other day?
Yeah, I suppose. But then Fools and Raffles ran okay in Weatherby, so there's 2 ways of looking at it.
Good point.
It was receiving £12, just to say, but anyway. It jumped really well. It's going to be a better chaser than the hurdler. Could it be placed in the Brown Advisory? Definitely. Will it win it? I'd have my doubts, to be honest. Next one is On the Ropes in Limerick in the Munster National. It's still a novice. Won very easy off 141, now up to 152.
Ladbrokes Trophy bound.
Yeah. I would love to see Patrick ride that in the National Hunt Chase. You're going to say Statler.
Oh, don't start this. Do not start this. You're starting it already.
I think On the Ropes is a better horse than Statler, personally. So I think if it doesn't quite make it up to Grade 1 company, I'd love to back On the Ropes in the National Hunt Chase.
Well, I'll be telling Patrick to ride Statler.
We're on to the 22nd of October, 3rd time lucky, really impressive in Cheltenham. It was quite keen, ended up taking it up.
Did people get carried away?
A little bit, but it was a decent time. The horse that beat Buddy Rich came out and won the other day in Navan, beat Ballyadam, so the form is okay. But very, very impressive. I love the way it jumped, the way it travelled. I think it'll win again this weekend. Again, 14-1. If you end up that you're going to back, say, Appreciated or Fernie Hollow, one of those, I don't think it's a bad idea to have a tenner on 3rd time lucky to save your investment. The following day at Cheltenham, I liked Before Midnight.
Yeah,
it won a handicap chase very, very well. It beat Sky Pirate by 6 lengths. It was off 136 that day. It's now off 144. Sam Thomas, who's making a good job of training, he said that its spring target will be the Grand Annual. So it definitely will be a contender for that race. On to October the 25th in Wexford, a lovely horse called Eclat de Rire is 40-1 with Bet365 for the Gold Cup. Not mad impressive, but it jumped a little bit to its left, which is fine.
The only problem I have with that is Conflated jumped disgracefully. Jumped terribly. Hit fences, slowed up into fences, and still wasn't beaten that far. That's just a little concern I have.
Look, it wasn't a great performance, but it just could develop into a nice horse.
He jumps and gallops.
Could that horse go for the Ladbrokes Trophy as well?
Yes, certainly could.
So it's 3 out of 4 over fences, unseated in the Brown Advisory last year, but nice horse.
Yeah, very nice horse.
We're on now to the 2-day meeting at Down Royal, and these 2 days deserve nearly its own segment because every year I love these 2 days, yeah. Like we got a couple of winners last year out of it, so with Quilixius and Sir Gerhard, so.
Probably one of my favourite tracks in Ireland.
It's a great track.
They do a great job up.
Like it's almost 2 miles for a full lap, so it's very good. Holly Games was very impressive over 2-6, 16-1 for the Bartlett. Impervious had the fastest time of the day on the Friday. A lovely mare for Colin Murphy.
Very impressive.
Very fast time, 4:16, 10 seconds quicker than Zana here, for example, but they obviously went slow. But she's very decent. She's now 3 from 3 over hurdles, and she is 16-1 for the mare's novice hurdle. Yeah, she'd have to have a chance. Yeah, there's going to be loads of good mares coming out. Willie will have plenty anyway. Zana here beat the old horse Caskmate, giving it weight.
What do you think?
I thought it was good. The time would suggest that it wasn't so good. Caskmate was much too keen. I wouldn't get excited. I couldn't have it on my mind for a champion.
What is he, Zana here? Is he a stayer?
He's definitely a 2.5 miler, yeah,
Okay.
I'd say so. What do you think?
Any chance against Honeysuckle in the Hatton's Grace?
No.
But shot me down there for
Lovely horse now, but no.
Okay.
Lifetime Ambition probably won one of the best beginner's chase we've seen so far this season. Beat Beacon Edge and Vanillier, who obviously had won at Cheltenham.
Shout out to Brian Sheeran in the Racing Post who did Jessica Harrington's stable tour. And if you ever see a quote in the stable tour that rung true, it was this. Like, she couldn't have been any more glowing.
Really?
Pinging fences at home, glorious chaser. Like, it was, if you read it, you would have backed it.
Okay.
So
jumped fantastically.
Can teach you a bit. Yep.
Yeah, jumped brilliantly. It's hard to believe that it took 7 goes to win a maiden hurdle. I know. It's hard to believe. Like, it was beaten 6 times, won the maiden hurdle, won a Punchtown, and then was very impressive. 25-1 for the Brown Advisory, and also the Mediators, what you mentioned, won the bumper by 8 lengths, 25 the champion bumper. On to the Saturday, a very, very impressive performance by Phil Dorr. Now, Phil Dorr might.
Lord, holy God! Have you ever seen a horse jump like that?
Yeah, and the thing I loved the most was the way lovely and calm and settled and jumped brilliant, yeah.
Oh, jumping was immaculate.
It gave a stone, including the jockey's allowance, to C Sessions and beat by 16 lengths. Now, the time of it and Mighty Potter's races were actually very slow. But
very slow.
Next week I might talk about, I did timings on the 4 races on the Friday and 4 races on the Saturday.
Jeez, have you slept for the last 4 days?
So next week, when we have more time, we might talk about those. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Mighty Potter's 25-1 for the Supreme.
I liked him now.
Yeah, he's 2 from 2 now. He definitely would have won when the Greek fell 2 out. He was travelling much the better.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Yeah, the Greek would be a lower standard than him. Then we're on to the big race of the day. Frodon, Beacon Galvin. Very exciting finish. Personally, I wouldn't worry in the slightest about Manelli getting beat.
No.
Not a bit. No worries, no. He went from kind of 4-5-1 out to 5-1 and 6-1. I thought that's fair enough.
Did you?
What did you think?
Did you get stuck in?
I've had a small interest in Manelli, but bit early. I think he could even get bet again. If he goes to the King George, I wouldn't be totally mad about him, but I think when he gets to Cheltenham, he's a different horse.
It was a funny sort of a race because they all they were strung out and then all of a sudden 3 out into 2 out. They're all in a bunch.
Yeah.
And you're going, geez, Delta worked around quite well for a long way. Manilindo ran okay for a long way. Frodon didn't actually jump as well as he can jump. And I thought Galvin is just your typical, improving stage
He's
chaser.
improving all the time.
I'll tell you now, 3 mile 2 and a bit in the Gold Cup will suit Galvin. He's not good enough. But I'm just saying he will keep at it.
I'd agree with you. I just wonder if he got good ground in the Gold Cup, he'd have even a better chance because he loves good ground. Yeah. Whereas not all chasers love good ground. Frodon's jumping was interesting. He hit a few, but then he was amazing at some of them as well. So
great ride by Bryony as well.
And but I believe did somebody say the boys in the telly said that Indo looked big in the ring. So I'd say it'll come on a lot for the run.
Like myself today.
Enviolin, as we said, beat the 90 rated horse Echoes of Family, but it showed that he's hopefully back to himself. He jumped great, he travelled great. He's now, do you think he'll end up in Gold Cup or Ryanair? He's 8-1 for the Gold Cup, 7-1 for the Ryanair.
I don't know, I just hope he goes for the King George. Yeah. That's my big wish. That's my only Christmas wish, as Mariah Carey would say. Or
that's your
Leona Lewis, was it?
I don't know. That's your Santee wish.
Yeah, Enviolin and the King George.
And then in the bumper, American Mike, who we gave a mention to in the Racing Post there a week or two ago, it was impressive. It's now 7-1 favourite for the champion bumper. Looks a lovely horse.
They like him and Gordon's.
Do they?
Oh, they like him.
Yeah, no, he was good and his time was good too.
It'd be nice to see Nolan Valerie more and get like a superstar. I'd love it.
They've plenty of good horses, so it'd be nice to have a top one. It was 6 seconds quicker than Esky Lane in the 2 mile handicap hurtle, but you have to allow for the fact maybe 4 seconds because it didn't have to jump any hurdles. But still, it was a quick time, so he's a good horse. On to Weatherby.
I've missed your highlighters. Turn around a little bit.
They won't be able to see it. But on to last Saturday, the 30th. Oh, sorry, the previous Saturday, the 30th. Foozle raffles in Weatherby. Shan Blue.
Hard to stomach, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's. He was going to bolt up. Ants in the Pants, as I call Harry Skelton. He just loves to kick on 3 or 4 out, doesn't he? He was racing down to 3 out. As you said to me earlier, he wanted to kind of
Yeah,
sicken Surname, so I understand, but...
Yeah, I think to beat Surname, he realised he's one horse to beat in the race, and he said, right, I'm going to sicken him leaving the back straight and kick on. And then when he got there, he just had to keep going.
Yeah, I just find that Harry does it quite a bit, and to me, it just might mean that a horse gets a harder race than maybe is needed. But Shan Blue is very good. He was going to win easy. He's out injured for a few months, so hopefully he gets back in time.
Champion jockey now, you know.
Yeah. Shan Blue is 25 for the Gold Cup, 14 for the Ryanair. That Sunday, the 31st of October, Cape Gentleman was impressive in Cork. Got a solo out in front, jumped really well. Brian Hayes gave it a super ride, steadied them, and then quick and turning in. Run a big race, I'd imagine, in the Drinmore. Just to remember that when it did go left-handed in Leopardstown, it pulled up. So even Emmett Mullins doesn't know, was it the left-handed thing or was it another reason? So if he does end up going to Cheltenham, you'd have to see him going left-handed because it'd be in the back of your mind, wouldn't it?
Nice horse though.
Yeah, lovely horse. Yeah, plenty of gears.
Big horse as well, yeah.
In Carlisle, Fiddler on the Roof paid the Piper by a length and a quarter. Esper de Rame, for me, was a bit disappointing. Was 9 lengths back in third.
Track record though.
Yeah, fast time, yeah. The winner's 40-1 for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, no chance. Go on.
We're on to last Tuesday then. 3-stripe Life and Fairy. It was 28-1 for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. The price he was 2-13.
Workman-like.
Yeah, it jumped fine. I'm sure it'll improve tons. Next target is the Royal Bond. So that looks like, as it is every year, a good race. Last Thursday, 2 horse to mention was Silver Forever. Beat one of your horse, Imperial Alcazar. Getting the £7, but the two of them jumped very well. Silver Forever just quick in the last. She's a nice mare now.
A bit disappointing. Yeah, I'd say she's very good. Imperial Alcazar just disappoints me.
I wouldn't totally dismiss Silver Forever for the mare's chase. She's 20-1 for that.
No, that's a fair mare.
Yeah. Also to mention Nina the Terrier.
Oh, she's a dinger. She is a dinger.
Yeah, no, she's a right good mare. She gave away £8 and she beat a horse with no name and also LA Bell. Is that how you pronounce it?
LA Bell, yeah.
LA Bell, who was third in last year's champion bumper and second in entry. So a really good race.
You think they would have given that horse a name, wouldn't you? Go on.
Then on to...
Second horse was called Horse with No Name.
Horse with No Name, very good.
If you want.
I didn't get you, Jeff.
I know you did.
Saturday, a win Canton. So Royal. What a racehorse.
Oh, that's like, imagine owning him.
Yeah, just...
Every day, loves what he does. Travels, jumps, fences, hurdles, left-handed, right-handed, Tingle Creeks, Kingwell hurdles, champion hurdle if you want it.
Just a cash machine, really.
Just a great horse.
He's 9-year-old turning 10, so he's probably not going to win Cheltenham. Say he was unlucky last year in the champion chase. Probably wouldn't have won it, but he got some interference, all right. He's 33.
Some interference.
Yeah.
Nearly knocked down.
33-1 for the champion chase. Bruno Up a Storm is worth a mention. I don't know what race.
Ollie Murphy's going to have a big year this
You reckon?
year. A big year, Ollie Murphy. Bruno Up a Storm is a
Has
good
he had a winner
horse.
at Cheltenham yet? No.
No.
Yeah, he was very, very impressive. A huge drifter out to 5-1, bolted up by 9 lengths from If the Cap Fits. That was 2.5 mile. I wonder will it bypass Cheltenham because there's no Ryanair hurdle as you keep going on about. So unless it ran the Coral Cup or a Stairs, it might.
Could run the Stairs.
It could. It could end up maybe waiting for the entry hurdle. Time Hill, as we said last Saturday, was beaten 40 odd lengths in Otay and heavy ground. So maybe you could dismiss that. It's out to 8-1 for the Stairs. Saturday in Naas, couple of horses to mention. Utrecht, 1/2 mile. Keep an eye on him maybe for a Martin Pipe handicap hurdle.
Yeah.
Eric Bloodaxe, they say he's hard to get fit. He'll improve tons. He could end up being an Albert Bartlett horse.
Like what he did between the second last and the last.
Yeah.
Went from being a race to like him destroying them. Yeah.
The two of them won 2 bumpers, so they are very decent. So either a Martin Pipe or an Albert Bartlett perhaps. Tiupu. Now first of all, we were on What a Shout with Dave Oates last Friday. And your nap of the weekend was Tiupu.
It was Tiupu.
Yeah.
And you're just going to beat me now because your nap is even better.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wow, water and tea. Tiupu, very, very impressive.
He's a good horse.
He's a good horse, yeah. Why did you fancy him so much?
I just thought that it was the ground that beat him at Ferryhouse last year. It got very quick on Easter Monday. I think he's a better horse than that. And always work. I remember talking to Keith Donoghue about him last year. And he said, you want to see this horse working. Yeah. That he's a really nice horse. So I think he could have a good season. It's going to be hard.
Yeah,
but I think
5-year-olds, yeah. Should make a lovely chaser, shouldn't he?
Yeah, nice horse.
Captain Guinness beat Andy Dufresne by 4 3/4 lengths, 25-1 for the champion chase. Is he going to be a bit like, we're going to mention in a few minutes, Notebook, is he going to fall into that? Like he's definitely a grade 2 horse as he showed.
Absolutely, yeah.
But is he good enough for the champion
Definitely
chase?
the second best horse in last year's Arkle. Definitely.
You reckon, yeah. Mr. Incredible. Won the beginner's chase over 2 mile 3. 20 to 1 for the Brown Advisory.
What a ride.
Yeah, so... No. I'm not
You've seen on Twitter, everybody was saying Mrs. Incredible. Or Miss Incredible.
I wasn't on Twitter, but I'll never say a bad word about Rachel Blackmore after the cycle because she's such a lovely person. She was great on the day.
But you're going to...
No, I just was... No, it turned out to be a brilliant ride, but I found it very, very, very perplexing and interesting that there was 18 horses in the race, and coming to the first fence, she's in 17th. Like normally in Ireland, all the fancied ones are to the front, and the ones that aren't fancied are to the back. So I just... Was he so keen and stuff?
Experience and passing horses.
It's just very rare.
For one of Henry's, I know what you mean. Usually they're up in the van, like,
Yeah, or even on a hold-up horse, you'd sit 5th or 6th. But anyway, I just found it
Did
interesting.
very well to win.
Yeah, very, very well. Good horse. Will love 3 miles.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll run over 2 mile 3 ever again.
Okay. Always a good race, that. 2 mile 3 beginner's chase at Naas. Always a good race. I think Road to Respect won it before.
Okay.
Maybe Road to Riches as well.
Not sure.
Okay.
Good memory. And didn't waste a year in bumpers, this horse.
Yeah.
He's only 5, which I love. So 6 in January. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, and to finish in Sandown on Sunday, Chantry House beat the Big Breakaway by 37 lengths.
Stop, I would have beaten the Big Breakaway by 37 lengths on Sunday.
Yeah, so just to tell you, the time of the race was 6:21.7. The Veterans Chase, which was run an hour later over the exact same trip, was 0.8 of a second slower. Wow. So basically the same time as the Veterans Chase.
So they're all out, lads.
So don't get carried away. He's 11 to 1 for the Gold Cup. And then the last thing to mention, Navan on Sunday. My mate Mozzie, he was good. I backed him. I thought he might even be more impressive. He was very impressive going right-handed in Punchestown. On Navan on Sunday, as we saw, he jumped a little bit to his right, which wouldn't be ideal. Mark Walsh even mentioned it afterwards. He could be better going the other way around. So, look, he'd have a bit of a squeak in a Supreme, but I wouldn't get carried away. I thought...
He is lightning quick over his hurdles. Lightning quick. Did veer to his right, and Mark Walsh said it to me afterwards. But like I just love the way he attacks his hurdles. Like I would say at this stage he looks like he's going to go off favourite for the Royal Bond.
Well, going right-handed obviously will definitely suit him. And Boo Then Boy, who fell at the last, like he quickened away from him a little bit. Well, they jumped the second last nearly together. And by the time
I tell you something,
last,
you watch it again.
I did. I watched it two or three times.
They almost took off in terms at the last. Almost.
They didn't. He was a length ahead there.
No, he wasn't.
He was, yeah.
He was,
yeah.
Right, okay.
He was,
right.
yeah.
No, he wasn't.
He was, yeah.
Watch that. You think he was a length ahead
at
the last?
Yeah, he was, yeah. I'll have a fiver with you. No problem.
I'll have a fiver. Go on. Oh, we can't shake hands.
Okay.
Go like that. He wasn't a length ahead, Gavin. He would have won, obviously.
I'll have 50 with you if you want.
No, he wasn't length ahead. He wasn't.
Durasso ended up winning the Lismullen Hurdle. Flooring Porter, who I backed as well. I think Flooring Porter was going quite well at the time, and I was happy enough. Gavin Cromwell said since the horse is fine, he's going to Leopardstown on Christmas, and he said he was happy enough at the time too. So I think he probably would have won.
Can't wait to watch this replay.
Notebook beat Sam Crow by 10 lengths. He's not going to win at Cheltenham unless maybe he runs in a Grand Angle.
It was just vintage Sam Crow. You're going, Sam Crow's going to win. Sam Crow's going to win, and then he puts down on Jack at second last, and you're going, oh God.
He touched 5s on and running. Our fella's mad, are they?
I know, yeah. Crack.
But anyway, that's the weeks that was.
That's the weeks that was, and we're all off to watch the replay of My Mate Mozzie. So each week from now until the Cheltenham Festival in March, we're going to preview our race at the Cheltenham Festival, and we're going to do it in chronological order this year, Gavin. Yeah, we're getting very sophisticated here. So we're doing it properly, Gavin. We're starting off.
And then the Arkle and...
Yeah, we're starting off with the Supreme.
Okay.
And you know why I'm doing it? So we don't forget one.
Very good.
Okay, so we're starting off with the Supreme, and at the moment, Kilcrud is your 4-1 favourite. It is 8-1 John Bon. It is 10-1 Sir Gerhard, 14-1 My Mate Mozzie, who we've just spoken about, and it's 16-1 Bar. So Kilcrud 4-1, very short.
Yeah, very short. The right favourite, I suppose. What was interesting is last spring, Willie said, I either heard him or read him saying it, that Sir Gerhard might end up in the Supreme and Kilcrud might end up in the Ballymore. So that's the way then the markets were formed. More recently in the Stable Tour, he's changed that around and he said Kilcrud for the Supreme and Sir Gerhard possibly for the Ballymore.
What do you think?
I'd say it doesn't really matter. They're two exceptional horses. We saw that.
Is it like Vautour and Faugheen all over again?
I just wonder... Has it got to a stage now where Willie wants more of a staying type in the Supreme and more of a speed horse in the Ballymore, because we appreciated that they go so hard that maybe you need a stayer. And we also saw Kilcrud at the Dublin Racing Festival. When they went too fast, he was able to just travel like an airplane, wasn't he? Yeah. So maybe that's what his thinking is. Sir Gerhard, whatever way they go, they won't end up in the same race, I presume, because they're two exceptional horses. So Kilcrut is the right favourite, yeah.
Okay, but 4-1 at this stage. Would you be
It
tempted?
seems a bit short, doesn't it?
John Bond, 8-1.
John Bon, the expensive John Bon Jovi, full brother to Duvan. Was it 570 he cost? Huge money. Won a bumper in Newbury last March. Looked incredibly good, but to be backing him at 8-1 is probably a bit early.
Living on more of a prayer, is he?
Probably, yeah. You know more of that music than me. Dysart Dynamo is worth a mention, 16-1.
You love this horse.
Well,
you mentioned that horse more to me than any other horse in the last few weeks.
He could be a very good horse. The fact that
have you heard something?
No, I haven't heard a thing.
Anything? No.
He won a bumper. Was it Clonmel, and then he went to Punchestown, and I backed him in Punchestown. And at halfway, I'm going, oh God, this thing can't win because he was so keen. Ended up winning well in the end. So I just think if he learns to settle better, but will he end up more of a Ballymore horse than a Supreme? I don't know.
Okay.
Willie has loads of bumper horse that are in the betting. Classic Getaway, who Patrick famously said after he won a bumper in Tipperary that he was more expensive than a Rolls Royce Phantom, because I think he was over 500 grand as well. But to me, that was a 2.5 mile bumper.
Gorgeous looking horse.
Yeah, well, he'd have no chance in a Supreme now. Grange Clare West, again a bumper horse, probably stay further.
Yeah.
Dark Raven. There's a horse there, I Am Maximus.
Don't be stealing one of mine. Man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's worth a mention.
Beat My Drogo.
Yeah, it's his only start, so like that's an amazing thing to have in your CV, isn't it?
Yeah, I like one as well from Nicky's and that.
What's that?
Well, I don't know. Right, it's a big statement to come out with, but I think Firestep is very good.
Firestep.
You
mentioned this to me before.
I did mention him in a few previous shows. Firestep, to me, he's only won bumpers at Suddle and Chepstow, and he didn't win by that far at Chepstow. But you know, sometimes you just see something in a horse, and I just thought a little bit keen, a little bit fizzy. He's a fine big specimen of a horse, and I just thought when he matures a little bit, I think he could be very good. Now, it's more to do visual than anything else, because there's not that much substance to the form. Like what Nicky is saying about him in the stable tours, and just a few of my mates, I just told them, I think this is a horse to follow. I think he's very good.
So Nicky has 3 good ones then. Him, I Am Maximus and John Bond.
Well,
maybe.
look, like Firestep isn't even in betting at this stage. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think you can back him at 50-1. But I would advise people, first time out, maybe in a little maiden hurdle or novice hurdle somewhere, I think Firestep could be very exciting.
Okay. I like to move it is worth a mention for the Twist and Davis team, who beat Tritonic by 3 1/4 lengths, and we mentioned my mate Mozzie would have a bit of a squeak, but might be a bit better going right-handed.
So right here, right now, if I forced you to have a bet in the Supreme, what would it be on?
Don't know, Dave.
That's great.
I don't know. Maybe Dysart Dynamo at 16s. Kilcrut would be hard to beat. My mate Mozzie would have a chance. It's just very, very open at the minute.
Okay, I'll throw in Nicky's too. I'll go, I Am Maximus, and maybe, fingers crossed, Firestep will prove himself to be a little bit special.
I think if we have a bit of patience, it might develop
in
the next month or two.
Yeah, I think we saw in the last 30 seconds there are different characters, I think. I'm dreaming of Firestep winning the Supreme. You're saying relax. That was our Supreme Novice Hurdle preview. So folks, now it's time for what's happening this week, and there is plenty happening. Don't forget, pick up Saturday's Racing Post to hear Gavin Lynch's views, your festival focus. Nice little ditty, as you would say.
A ditty, yeah. Yeah, no, it's grand. Yeah, we've done it for a couple of weeks. So
yeah, great
just
addition.
a preview to the weekend about relation to Cheltenham.
Yeah, absolutely. Great addition to our Saturday package in the Racing Post. So what's happening this week? I suppose the sexy race is the slower chase. We have the last 2 winners of the champion chase in Put the Kettle On and Politolog. We have Nuba Negra. We have Rouge Vif making his debut for Paul Nichols. We have the Grand Annual winner in Sky Pirate. So it's going to be a cracker. Bud Doran is the other one.
Yeah, well done. Good memory. I always wonder, why is the slower chase over 2 mile? It should be like a 3 mile 2 handicap chase around Utoxeter or something.
That is such a Gavin Lynch joke.
They're all champion chases over 2 mile. They should be quicker chase.
What wins it?
Tricky. Put the Kettle On, 4 from 4 at the track. She won it last year. She wasn't impressive, to say the least, but Nube Negra in the champion chase looked like he was going to go by her, but she just battles and battles and battles. I can't see me having a bet, but I'll cheer for Put the Kettle On.
Yeah, I think Put the Kettle On. I was just having this conversation actually with Aidan Coleman. She is like the most underrated horse. Like, imagine in any other era, if you have a mare winning the champion chase.
And the Arkle.
And like, she's beaten Shackham Persois, who we thought was a star. She's unbeaten at Cheltenham, and she's come from such kind of small roots, and she's grown into this absolute
she was a summer mare.
Superstar. She was a summer mare.
Yeah.
She was beaten, I think, in 4 of her first 5 races. And for her to do what she did, so she certainly hasn't got the credit she deserves. She is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But she won't win on Sunday, Gavin.
Oh.
No, she won't win on Sunday.
Who's going to beat her?
Oh, Nuba Negra. Nuba Negra goes so well fresh.
The Spanish horse. The horse with the tan.
First time out last year in the Desert Orchid Chase. Brilliant run. Then obviously at Cheltenham ran really well. Just couldn't quite get there. I know he had every chance to get there, but I just think young horse. And I just think that the tempo of a champion chase probably suits Put the Kettle On better. Remember the slower last year, Defi Desoy, I think, was our favourite. And it just was a funny sort of race, the slower last year. I think Put the Kettle On come March, champion chase, where the brisk tempo from the start, and maybe Politlog will obviously go quick, but I don't think they'll go as quick as they did in the champion chase. I think Nuba Negra has more speed. I think Nuba Negra goes better fresh. Dan Skelton's team are in great form. He'll have him cherry ripe for this.
And will Harry wait long enough?
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah. You're harsh and Perel, Harry. I think Nuba Negra is the bet of the weekend, and I will be bitterly disappointed. I hope I'm not standing here next Tuesday saying, "Oh God."
And
Nuba
can you
Negra
trust him in a battle against her?
I think
he'll have to go by her, won't he?
He'll have to go by her, but I think this is the perfect race for Nuba Negra, and I'd be gutted if he's beaten.
Okay.
So there you go. That's the slower chase. I've certainly gone into the Nuba Negra camp there now, so I have. The Paddy Power Chase is on Saturday, the feature race. Always a fascinating affair. Wide open this year. Laylar and Protectorat are currently your 5-1 giant favourites. Yeah,
and you've Al Dancer, who's changed stables to Sam Thomas as well, but he's another kind of a bridal merchant, isn't he? Caribbean Boy, I think, is fourth favourite for Nicky. Maybe Laylar. I'll have no bet in the race. Laylar is having his first run for Pauling, as we said, so it's a 9-year-old. This is his chance at the Derby. So yeah.
I just thought if the ground was reasonably quick, I thought Caribbean Boy had a chance. I think he's quite well handicapped now. I thought in the early part of last season he looked like a potential star. I think this could be the time to catch him. So
yeah, there was one day in Newbury he looked a brilliant horse.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, when he beat Fiddler on the Roof. Just about. I think it's a very open race, but Caribbean Boy just about for me.
It's a great weekend's race in Cheltenham.
And speaking of great, the Great Wood. What do you like in that?
Again, no ordinary Joes. Only I think had 4 lifetime starts. Very, very inexperienced, but was impressive when it beat Fire Away, open to a huge improvement. I think it's only off 133, so you'd have to watch that and running. If it got into a nice rhythm and it wasn't knocked about too much with the inexperience, only ever ran in small runner races, so I might back him in running at the top of the hill if he's in the right posse. But
I'm giving him one more chance, Gavin.
Who?
Jesse Evans. One last dance, me and Jesse. We're going to have one last dance on Sunday. Jesse Evans, I still think there's a big pot in him off his mark. He's a little bit higher in England, obviously. Cracking run in the Galway Hurdle. Cracking run. Has won a flat maiden at Navan since. Just that experience of running the big handicaps at Punchestown and Galway. Going into this race where he's running against less experienced horses. Quick jumper, fast horse, fit. Jesse Evans could be his big day on Sunday.
Okay.
There you go. And finally, the Morgiana at Punchestown.
Yes.
Always a very informative affair.
Great race.
Probably no superstar in it this year?
Probably not. We don't know about Echoes and Rain yet. Now, she's a lot to find, as we said earlier on in the ratings, but she's open to any amount of improvement. Hopefully she settles like she started to do towards the end of the season. Maybe just Echoes and Rain, but as I said, if she's first or second, then she's a big player in the champion hurdle. Okay. Abacadabras? Last year's winner? Yeah. Do you remember the race last year? Yeah. Saint-Ouen? Yeah. I backed Saint-Ouen on it last year and he looked a winner, but yeah, there was plenty of them in with a chance at the last. Maybe Echoes and Rain, but as I said to you, even if she's second, it'd be a great run. Okay. Anything else you like this weekend? Nothing at the moment. The Irish entries, we're doing this Tuesday morning, so we don't have the Irish entries yet, but we'll see as the week goes on. And you? I plenty to look forward to. Sure, like this Third Time Lucky is running, obviously. Oh, yeah. Good horse, My Drogo. Really looking forward to seeing My Drogo. There's going to be some really... I think this time next week there'll be plenty of market moves come Cheltenham we'll be chatting about. Yeah, no, Third Time Lucky, definitely want to look forward. I've forgotten about him and My Drogo. I think that if Henry's mare goes against My Drogo, Gin and Lime, I think she's definitely great value each way. I think she's 4-1. Okay. If she does show up, I might have something to train her, I'd say. Okay, that's Gin on Lime, and that's what's happening this week. So it's time for a new segment here on Upping The Ante, and it's called Upping the Stakes. Yes, each week here on Upping The Ante, myself and Gavin have a charity bet, and we're trying to raise some much needed funds for Cancer Trials Ireland. Of course, your cycle last year, Gavin, went brilliantly. You've raised how much? 184,000. So it looks like we're going to go ahead with it again next year. I'll have details before Christmas on a date and a website and stuff like that. So yeah, if we can put whatever we win to, if we do win, to the cycle, that'd be great. So every week here on Upping The Ante, from now until the Cheltenham Festival, both myself and Gavin are going to give a charity bet for this week's racing. Okay, so it has to run before this time next Tuesday. Yeah. So do you want to go first or second? I'll go first. I'll just a small each way bet maybe on Gin and Lime. Okay. I was going to go with Third Time Lucky because I'd hate to lose charity's money, but I'll just say something each way in gin and lime.
So gin and lime each way is Gavin Lynch's charity bet this
Taking
week.
on the Wonder Horse, but...
Yeah, absolutely. But gin and lime will be a nice price. Henry says she's in great form and she has looked very good.
I just think she's much better going left-handed. So
okay, so gin and lime is Gavin's charity bet at Cheltenham this weekend. And mine, Gavin, we're going to start with a winner. Nuba Negra, slower chase on Sunday. Nuba Negra wins the slower. We're going to get some much needed funds into the Cancer Trials Ireland Fund.
See how we go.
2 charity bets, gin and lime for Gavin, Nuba Negra for me. Let's hope we kick off with 2 winners. So it's the moment you've all been waiting for here on Upping The Ante. It is our first Ante Post Tips for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Yes, Gavin, it starts here. It starts now. Our list begins. Somebody gave out to me actually on Twitter the other day for calling them portfolios. So I've changed it to lists.
List.
Simpler, yeah.
Less posh.
Yeah, it's less posh. We're not D4.
We're Meath.
Ante Post lists. So your first member of your Ante Post. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
okay. So I've debated long and hard about this. Okay. And I didn't want to be predictable because on the last show last year, I said Statler for the National Chase, who I think I'll give it a few weeks, to settle down, and then I'm going to spring Statler onto my list, okay? So I've given it a lot of thought, and I just think there has been a complete and utter overreaction to Time Hill's run in France. Complete overreaction. 8-1 Time Hill for the Stayers hurdle is just too big of a price. It's 3 points bigger than it was this time last week because of a run in France where I think he hated the hurdles. I don't think he enjoyed the challenge. They're obviously completely different.
They're slightly bigger, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely bigger, different shape. Everything about the race was completely alien to him, I thought. Didn't think he enjoyed it. I like the way he flicks over his hurdles in England. He's quick, he's snappy. And last year, I thought he was probably the best staying hurdler in the business. Fair? Obviously, Classical Dream came out of Punchtown and produced an awesome performance, right?
Flooring Porter was good at Cheltenham too.
Yeah, Flooring Porter was good at Cheltenham too. But I just think Time Hill, going by the run in the Albert Bartlett against Monkfish, going by what he did at Aintree afterwards after missing Cheltenham, I think he is a seriously talented staying hurdler. He's going to go for the race. And I just look back at that race in France, and I think racing in France is so different to racing in Ireland and England. They just do things completely differently. The track is so wide, the ground was deep and heavy, and just for a first run back, I'd imagine he wasn't finely tuned for that. And imagine we were sitting here, or standing here as we are, Gavin. Imagine if we're standing here in the summer and we said, my first tip is going to be Time Hill for the Stayers hurdle at 8-1. You go, that's way too big.
Yeah.
I think there's been an overreaction, and my tip is Time Hill for the Stayers hurdle. I think he still should be favoured, and I think he's the most likely winner. So Time Hill is the first member of my Ante Post list for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. So Gavin, they watch it for you. They watch it for you. They do, Gavin. They watch it for you. So what are you going to kick off with?
I'm going to start with...
Well, build it up now. Build it up. Give us a clue.
I mentioned him. I gave you 2 tips in the review show.
Okay.
And he's one of the 2 tips.
Okay. What day is he going to be running?
Wednesday. Well, hopefully this race. Can never be sure.
Is it the now Brown Advisory?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know it.
So last in the review, we're going to actually see how nice you are. Can you let me have that price, or do I have to have today's price?
You can have today's.
Thanks.
And be happy with that.
Gallopin Deschamps for the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. He's only a 5-year-old. He won over hurdles in May 2020. They need 3 poor enough runs, we'll call it, last winter, over 2 miles in Ireland. Went to the Martin Pipe off 142 and absolutely bolted up. And by the way, he beat Langerdan. Langerdan has gone from 135 to 140. If the Skeletons keep Langerdan for this year's Martin Pipe, back him. But the 2 of them were 9 lengths clear. It was a super performance. He rolled on to Cheltenham against decent novice hurdlers over 3 mile.
Punchtown. Yep.
Punchtown, sorry. And he bolted up by 12 lengths.
Bolted up.
The thing that I liked about it the most was between the third last and the second last, he's 5th. And about 5 strides later, he's 2nd. And you just go, holy God. There was a side angle camera that day, and I just was very, very impressed with him. The thing I liked as well that day is he jumped very well. He made 2 mistakes, I think 4 out and outs at the last. But if you watch most of his hurdles, he's jumping them this way. He's jumped them nice and high, and I just think he'll make a nice shape.
He makes a lovely shape, yeah.
Yeah, so I think fences will really suit him. I looked at the race yesterday from Punchtown.
What price are we talking about, Gavin?
7-1.
Lovely.
Willie has won 5, what used to be the RSA, but he's won 2 of them with 6-year-olds. So Don Polly and Florida Pearl were 6. So he's going to be 6 in March. I love that fact. I love the fact that if he's good enough, he'll end up in a Gold Cup at 7, same as Alboon Photo. I just think he was definitely the best staying novice hurdler.
Yes.
And if we can have a repeat of what happened with Monkfish last year. look at
Whoa, this is like
I know,
Paul
but I'm
Nichols
saying-
comparing Brave Man's game
No,
to
no.
them. And you think he could be as good?
No,
as
no, I'm
Nichols?
not saying that, but I'm saying that he went on to win the
Yeah.
Brown Advisory. That's why we're tipping this lad, because I hope he does go on to win it. But you have to take a chance. Backing a horse before he's jumped a fence in public is probably a bit risky, but Ante Post betting is risky. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you have to take chances. If I wait until he say wins in Fairy House or somewhere, he could be 3 or 4 to 1. So
Wow. Okay.
so 7 to 1, I think, is very fair. Brave Man's game to beat and a few others, but I think he's a good horse. Yeah.
There you go. So Gavin Lynch's first choice, the first member on his team for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival, is Galloping the Champs in the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. So that's it, folks. That was episode 1 in the brand new series of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. We're going to be with you each and every Tuesday from now until the Cheltenham Festival in March. It's done, Gavin. First one done. Did you enjoy it?
I did. It's hard to believe it's our 5th series.
Our 5th series. God, I thought we'd be gone after the first one.
So do I.
How have they stuck with us so long?
Don't know.
Well, we're going to be with you, as I said, each and every Tuesday. We'll try and bring a bit of crack, a bit of intelligence, a bit of je ne sais quoi to your screens every... What's wrong with you?
Hurry up.
Why, what's wrong with you?
Because I was late and I was pulling into a car park around the corner. It's the only one I know, and it was full, and I was oh Jesus, the lads will kill me. So I ended up nearly abandoning it just to the side of the barrier. So I'd say the car could be towed by the time we get back.
Car could be towed.
But I'll let you know next week.
So you're going to have to tune in to next week's show to find out if Gavin Lynch's car was towed. Listen, there's brilliant racing this weekend. Enjoy it, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Thanks for watching.